in that area. And then I'll be swinging down through South Carolina and making my way down to Georgia on tour. The Content of Character Tour is what it will be called. I'm CL, back in a few minutes with the crew, Michelle, Rick, Jay, and yours truly in a minute. CL, back on this Tuesday, the first Tuesday of the year and the first one of the rest of your life. Yeah, we're on our way here in 2017, and things are looking really bright. In fact, the future's so bright right now, we're all going to have to wear shades. I do believe it. And on to tell us a little bit more about how you can become a part of the CL Bryant Show experience, and that's what it's going to be in places like Phoenix, Denver, North Carolina, we're already there, Pittsburgh, we're coming there. And hey, I'll be talking about doing something all up and down that North Carolina coast, all the way into South Carolina and into Georgia. I'll be headed there coming up in the weeks to come. Rick, take it away. Tell them the opportunities.
First of all, it's so cool to have the whole team together. We haven't all sat together, Jay, you, me, Michelle, in months. So it's so cool to have the whole team together.
Is it cool, Rick?
It is cool. It's really cool.
My sunglasses.
Oh, yeah.
Michelle put her sunglasses
so
on.
cool.
Future's
The
so
visual.
bright.
So bright.
It is bright, though. Since Trump has got elected, CL, and you know this, the small business owners has skyrocketed. The optimism have skyrocketed. It's the highest since 2009. Now, if you're a small business out there, you've been holding back, you've been holding your funds, you've been saying, well, I'm going to wait, and I'm going to wait to see what happens with the economy. I'm telling you, this is the perfect time to get on our show and be a sponsor and partner up with us on the CL Bryant Show. You can get on the CL Bryant Show for as low as $25 a day. So it doesn't, if you're a small business owner, you're maybe a mom and pop, you're thinking, I can't afford the show. You can start there. We can go up from there. Also, not just that, but the consumer confidence. All you people out there, you are the consumer. The consumer confidence is as high as it's been since 2001. Some other big things that came out today. U.S. construction spending hits a 10-year high in November. Now, that happened after the election, and I just heard on the way here when I was listening to you guys doing your first segment that manufacturer orders are up highest in 2 years. So everything is pointing to a great 2017. I myself talk to business owners every day. That's my job. And everybody that I talk to, all of our sponsors and people that I pitch are all excited and enthusiastic and just confident about 2017. So this is a time, if you've been holding back, I'm just going to wait to see what happens after the election. I'm going to see where it goes. There's no reason to hold back anymore.
If Hillary had won the election, you could hold back.
You could hold
back. And I'd
back.
understand it.
Yes.
I would understand.
Yes.
But she did not. Michelle, she did not win, and that opened a
I have
door.
one thing to say. It's
Yes, Jackie.
elections.
Jackie O, say that.
Elections have consequences.
Oh, yeah.
So Pelosi begging to us to not to repeal or do anything to Obamacare.
Was she begging?
Begging. So all we have to say is elections have consequences.
Elections do have consequences,
Well,
and the consequences are good for us, right, Rick?
There's other things that are contributing to this. We know that regulations for small businesses and businesses overall are going to be pulled back. We know that the tax code is going to be going into 3, hopefully, segments instead of 7. Personal income tax are going to come down. Business taxes for corporations are coming down. He's going to bring jobs back into the United States. So when you have more jobs, you have more money, people spend more. It's just a good thing. So there's no reason not to get out in front of your competitor, because we have a category exclusive on this show. So when I come to you, if our category is not filled, you fill that category and nobody else can come in. So you have a lock on that category, except for car dealerships and restaurants, because there's so many of them.
Right.
But other than that, if you want to advertise in the show, you want to be a sponsor on the CL Bryant Show, please call me 573, you can remember that, 4512, 573-4512, and it's Rick, R-I-C-K, at TheCLBryantShow.com. So
Give that number out again, Rick.
573-4512. So there's no reason to hold back anymore. Get out in front of your competitor. I know you have competitor out there that you're eyeing. Get out on this show right now and be exclusive on our show.
One of the most listened to talk shows in the Arklatex altogether, and you have made it that way, and that's exactly why we're imploring you to get on. This is the ground floor. Right here. The ground floor right here. And folks, get on board. And all this team that I have with me right now, this very team, have been with me from absolute day one since we become the CL Bryant Show. We were something else, but since we've had the CL Bryant Show, the team right here has been it. And like I told you a little bit earlier, we've had nothing more than the favor of the Lord. It was not of our own strength, because we would have failed, but the favor of the Lord has in fact kept us where we are, and is guiding us in a direction that is upwardly mobile. So become a part of it. And I want to say, while I have you all here, Jackie O, and all of you who are here with me right now, Jay, I want to say, all of you guys have been very loyal, and you've been my friends. You give me advice when I didn't want to hear it, and all that kind of stuff.
That's your friends to me.
That's Michelle and I's job. Yeah,
that's what friends are for, right? Okay, Jay, if you got that song you want to play, that's what friends are for. but anyway, I want to tell you my personal thanks. People don't necessarily always have to be honest with you, but you guys have always been that way, and that's what brings us close here, and that's what we pass on to those of you who become a part of the show, as well as our listeners. We want you to know that we're here for you, and we encourage each and every one of you to call us. Call in when I give out the call number. Call in. We want to talk to you because this show is the bridge to conversation that we must have in this country in order for it to heal. You do know that America is at a point now where she is in need of healing. And we're asking, as you know, my discipline is preaching and the gospel and all of that, but bringing it to a whole nother level as far as taking it on the road to radio by talking about secular things, as well as talking about politics and whatever else that there is to talk about in this country. But we need the Lord to come and heal our land. And we hope to be the bridge to conversation on race, on politics, on religion even. And so thank you all for being there. Rick, you have closing words on this. One more pitch to him.
I just can't see anything. I mean, Trump is not even in office yet, and he's helped save over 125,000 jobs after today's news with Ford staying in Michigan instead of going overseas and building that plant or revitalizing that plant. So there's no reason. I'm telling you, 2017 is going to be big. Don't hold that money this year. Get it out there and make more money as a business.
There you go. That's what friends are for. Michelle, that's what friends are for. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
Jay, that's what friends are for, right?
You know it, baby.
Keep smiling.
From the C.L. Bryant Show, Happy New Year to each and every one of you and from the entire team. Thank you so much.
I should ever go away.
CL, back with you on this Tuesday evening here in the new year. Yes, the mood of the country, I believe, is definitely changing in this country. 320-5335, 320-5335 will be the number to call. A little bit later on in the show, coming up at the top of the hour, will be Derek Wilburn, who is the vice chair of the Republican Party in Colorado. He'll be with me. And then we have one of the GOP operatives in Florida who will be joining us at 7:40. And we'll be taking your calls after the 6:30 hours. 320-318-320-5335, 320-5335. Now, the president-elect, Donald Trump, does want changes in trade. Now, today, folks, if you were watching the mood in the chamber, and hey, Mike was there, Mike Johnson was there. If you were watching the mood in the chamber, you could see that there was indeed the peaceful, at least the appearance. Yes, that's the word. Appearance of peaceful transition of power there in the chamber of the House. And I do know this, and you need to know this, that even though Trump does want changes in the way we trade, there are some Republicans who like it the way it is. I think that might be the first bone of contention. And the question also is coming up on how Republicans will actually deal with Obamacare in replacing it, repealing and replacing. That's what grassroots people want to happen. However, there are signs that some Republicans will be squeamish when it comes to actually carrying out and doing the work that is necessary. Donald Trump is still on his game in threatening GM as well as Ford with a tweet. He tweeted out that if you guys are going to import cars into America, heavy tariff. It made Ford change directions on a factory that they were going to build down there. But then again, I think the Ford people are very, very slick. They know that it was a PR move of PR moves to say, hey, we're not going to do what GM did. We're going to go ahead and shut the factory down right now, and we're going to expand in Michigan. Ford, that was a brilliant, brilliant move. I happen to be a Chevy guy. I drive GM products, so I'm hoping GM actually gets their act together. I've heard that the Bushes, as well as the Clintons, are going to be at the inauguration. They have signed on RSVP to come and be at the inauguration. I'm going to have on the ground there none other than Michelle. The CL Bryant Show, Michelle, Jackie O will be there at the inauguration, reporting to us live from the inauguration, and we'll be bringing that to you. I would have been on the road for about 2 weeks, and I just could not see facing that crowd. Folks, I go to Washington all the time. So, Michelle, you're going to have the chance to go and represent at the inauguration and report back to us about DJT and how everything went, who was there, and knowing you're going to give us a blow-by-blow on who was wearing what.
Who was wearing what?
I know that's going to happen. And so, but the Bushes and the Clintons have RSVP'd. Now, one of our concerns, too, folks, as we look toward a new administration, is not being slapped around by nuclear thugs, I'll call them like that, like Kim Jong-un in North Korea, and these nuts over in Iran. Russia, who knows what's going to happen with Russia and Vladimir Putin. I do know this. There are 15,000 nuclear warheads in the world that we can account for. There's 15,000 of them. Now, Russia has about 7,000, a little bit better than 7,000. We have a little bit less than 7,000, and the rest are pretty much spread abroad. Now, the Russians are modernizing. We are not. The Russians have been modernizing their nuclear arsenal for 8 years, and we are not at this moment. That's why I believe that the relationship that Trump is trying to, I really haven't figured this out yet, because the Russians are our enemies. Don't anybody make the mistake. Don't get that twisted. The Russians hate us. They always will. But now, this man who wrote this book called The Art of the Deal, that may play across international lines as far as making deals. And with his type of rhetoric, saying that he's tired of America being treated like a chump, I can't possibly believe that he will allow us to be treated like a chump by a thug like Vladimir Putin. So I think that we're going to start modernizing our nuclear arsenal as well. At least I think that is necessary for us to do. Bailey's Fine Jewelers, Tiger Axle, Milam Cars, Subway, Bretches Insurance, Grub Burger, Red Wing Shoes, and SS Truck, along with two of our newest clients, Black Hawk Residential Septic Service and Prime South Financial. Thank you for sponsoring the C.L. Bryant Show. We'll be right back.
Night falls and I'm alone.
Yeah. Jay, you know how to pick them. You know I love music.
Just hear some words and find some songs.
Oh, CL, back with you on this Tuesday here in the jeweled cities of the Architect, streaming live throughout the greatest nation on the face of the earth, the greatest success story the world has ever known. Thank all of you, friends of ours in Wilmington, North Carolina, for welcoming us into your family. And soon, hopefully, we are coming to Phoenix, Denver, as well as Pittsburgh, as we spread out across the fruited plains of the great nation. And folks, I want to take this time before I bring on my good friend Derek Wilburn. I want to take this time to solicit your prayers for my uncle. Just JC is all you need. JC is all you need. I don't know if I have told you the story. Maybe I haven't. I'll share the story a little bit later of how all of us got and use initials in our family. But he's not well. He's about 84. He's 84 years old, and certainly need your prayers for him and God's grace and mercy. Bringing to the stage now is a tea party, not tea party, but a grassroots shaker and mover extraordinaire. He is the vice chair of the GOP in Colorado, none other than my good friend, Derek Wilburn. How are you, brother?
CL, happy, what is it? Happy New Year, my young, handsome friend, and blessings to you and the wonderful Jane Bryant, with whom we all know you married well above your station.
That is absolutely right. That is absolutely right.
I hope your year's off to a tremendous start. Mine is.
Well, fantastic, and Happy New Year to you and your bride and family as well. Derek, I see here in the Federalist Papers, you are saying that liberals are obsessed with hate. Man, I just can't believe it. I mean, what do you mean by that?
It is the most incredible thing I have ever witnessed in all my given years. The strategy of the contemporary Democrat Party, which is without a shadow of a doubt dominated by very left-wing liberals, you look at those at the top of the ladder, they're extremely far left of even the Democrat spectrum, let alone the country as a whole. Their strategy seems to be to tell Americans, you are racists, you are bigots, you are homophobic, you are Islamophobic, you are xenophobic, you are haters. Now please vote for us.
Wow. Wow. And you know what? That's exactly the way to put it, Derek. But they present themselves in the light that they are bearers and harbingers of peace. And
not working anymore, even for black folk. I mean, at some point you realize, wait a minute. We've been voting for these non-racists, so they say, for 50 years and not really seeing any results. Maybe it's time, if we can't go as far as to vote for the Republicans, to at least stay home, and that's exactly what has happened. So you can't tell people, you can't insult people and ask them to vote for you in the same breath when you are obsessed with hate. Whenever you point a finger, there's three coming right back at you.
You better believe it.
That's where they're living.
You better believe it. That's exactly where they live. Now, I've spent some time with DJT, Donald J. Trump, over these last few months, and I've had a chance to sort of witness how he was going to do this thing after he got the nomination, and then after just a couple of weeks ago after he won the presidency. And this is what I'm hearing, Derek, and you can speak to this, I know. I see some of the faces that he's surrounding himself with, or have brought to the tower, the Trump Tower, like Ray Lewis, like Jim Brown, like Kanye West. Derek, I've voiced this. I have actually voiced this. There's no secret how I feel about this. Those, in my opinion, are not necessarily the best representatives of where the message need to come from Black America. Am I overplaying that? Am I seeing things that I should be seeing past? How are you seeing that type thing?
I see it as a very important symbolic move. I would agree with you that those may or may not necessarily be the voices that matter, but those are the people who grab headlines. And in terms of generating a message or a narrative of inclusiveness, I think it's the right thing to do. Because you look across the aisle and you have people like Maxine Waters who are singing just the opposite tune. I won't even meet with the man.
Yeah, yeah.
Won't sit in front of him, won't talk with him. I'm going to fight him every step of the way. And then from his side, we see him sitting down with people like Al Gore and Kanye West and some of the individuals that you mentioned. Even if they aren't necessarily movers and shakers in the policy arena,
Yeah.
people look in the headlines and they see, Trump is at least willing to reach out with an olive branch, and they see that it's the other side who is the one that's not willing to accept it. So I think he's doing the right thing.
There's a method in this madness as far as I can see it. But I'm very optimistic right now, Derek. I really am. Give us your website. I want you to stay with me through the break. Can you do that, brother?
Of course. You got me. RM, as in Rocky Mountain, RMBlackConservatives.com.
Fantastic. And Derek, I want to talk to you in the next segment about GM, the message that the president is sending to those who want to make items outside of the country and then ship them back in. I'm on with Derek Wilburn, who is the vice chair of the GOP party there in Colorado. And Derek, I also want to talk to you about how the Republicans are going to handle Obamacare. There are some grassroots folks that you and I have been associated with now for years who just want the total nuclear bomb to be dropped on Obamacare. But then there are some in the Republican Party who are saying, well, maybe we can just fix some things. I wanted to get Derek Wilburn's opinion on that when I return. I want to thank each and every one of our guests, our sponsors for sponsoring this segment of the CL Bryant Show. Yoakum Toyota, Red Wing Shoes, Jack Spring Electric, when only the best will do, Weimer and Associates, Good Life, Health Food and Deli. Go see my friend Steven over there. Avalone Doors. Want to thank each and every one of you who have been there with me, going on this 3 years now and going strong as we begin to spread our wings throughout the United States. I'll be back with my good friend Derek Wilburn, Rocky Mountain Black Conservatives, when I return. I may have messed that up, Derek. You'll straighten it out when I return.
There must be some kind of way out of here. Said a joker to the thief. There's too much confusion. I can't get no relief. Businessman there, drink my wine.
CL, back with you. And I have on the line with me from Denver, Colorado, good friend Derek Wilburn. Derek, did I massacre the Rocky Mountain Black Republicans? That is right.
You did not.
Okay.
You did not. The RMBC, Rocky Mountain Black Conservatives, you got it quite right. And as some of your listeners may know, I'm now setting up the Conservatives of All Colors internship program, where we're going to start taking young African Americans from the inner cities in our country and sending them off to intern with truly conservative legislators so they can see and experience firsthand the truth about what we believe. And I know you know about that because you've agreed to sit on my board of directors.
Yes. In fact, I've forgotten that. I am. I am on the board of directors. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. And that's going to be a fantastic thing. And Derek, send me more information so I can tell everybody about it. And I certainly will do it. Derek, I want to talk to you about this. Now, Obamacare. Let's talk about Obamacare first, because it is going to be a hot topic. Nancy Pelosi was begging people not to dismantle it and so forth. There are some grassroots folks who are calling for, and this is what we have been calling for, the complete repeal, replacement of Obamacare. But then there are some Republicans who are saying, well, not so fast. How should we proceed on this? How do you think Trump's going to proceed on this?
I think we shouldn't be so buried in our ideology that we lose sight of being pragmatic. If there are portions of the law that are working well and are working as intended, then why on earth would we not want to keep those things just because they were implemented by Obama? That makes no sense. So if we now have people who have coverage that previously did not, if allowing people to stay on their parents' policies until they're older in life, 26 years of age, they have some income, they have some savings, they can afford to do it on their own, whereas they can't when they're only 21 or 22. If there are some aspects of it that are working well, then we should keep those. Why wouldn't we? So I'm not on board with the hardline Tea Partiers that say trash the whole thing. No. Let's analyze it, keep the good, get rid of the bad.
And you know what? That makes perfect sense. A lot of people are angry over the type of logic that you are, in fact, promoting when it comes to Obamacare and this type of approach to it. Now, I also want to ask you about this. Now, here we are in, I hope a different mood that's happening in our country. A new beginning, it seems to be taking place in our country. And there are some, though, who feel as though the threats that Trump is making to big business and maybe the deals that he's making with them to stay in America may not be the best way to do that, as far as saving carrier air conditioning and saving all that type of thing. That may not be the best thing to do. How do you think the approach should come from your perspective?
What we have now is a businessman, not a politician, doing what businessmen do. So this is a direct quote. Quote, it's literally a vote of confidence around some of the pro-growth policies he's been outlining, and that's why we've made the decision to invest here in the USA and in Michigan. End quote. That is the Ford president and CEO, Mark Fields.
Fantastic.
I don't know. What else do you need to hear? So, of course, people are going to find ways to detract because there's Trump haters everywhere.
Yeah.
But they were going to build a $1.3 billion manufacturing facility in Mexico, canceled that project, and instead injecting $700 million into Michigan and employing 700 more people in Michigan. Where's the problem?
And,
So I'm not on board with these people.
Well, Derek, he hasn't been inaugurated yet. He hasn't taken the oath of office yet. But the way the liberal media is treating this, it would be as though if Trump walked on water, they would say it's because he couldn't swim.
That's exactly right. And, the best example, and the one that's the least talked about, we talk about carriers and now Ford. I think the best example is Boeing. So Boeing was on schedule to produce another Air Force One. $4 billion. Trump, being a businessman, looked at the numbers and said, forget it. Order canceled. I'm not spending that kind of money for a jet. That's ridiculous. He knows how much jets cost because he owns one.
He owns one. A really nice one, by the way.
What did Boeing do?
Yeah.
Boeing turned around and said, well, can we meet and talk about this? Trump said, of course we can. And as a result of that meeting, the Boeing people said, well, we're going to find a way to get our price down to something a little more reasonable, which says to me that the price wasn't reasonable, and they knew it.
I think,
and that's probably 90% of federal contracts right there.
yeah, just calling them to the carpet. Just calling him to the carpet, and that's exactly what he has not been happening, and it's exactly what he is doing as far as that is concerned. Derek, I certainly do
That's right.
appreciate you being here. Got to have you on as we go through this process right after the inauguration here coming up in 17 days, and let's sort of go through what happened, what didn't happen, especially during this next 100 days after Trump is inaugurated. Derek, I want to talk to you more and more because I'm hoping that Colorado can actually turn a different shade in the midterms. The midterms are coming up here in 2018. And
that's when our governor's race is.
Yeah, and I'll be coming up that way, by the way, to do a little, we'll be doing some business up there in Colorado. And so I'm certainly hoping that we can make an impressive dent in Colorado, which once was a solidly red state. Derek, give out the website one more time.
rmblackconservatives.com, facebook.com/rmbtp, RMBTP, Rocky Mountain Black Tea Party, CL. I just put up a piece that people need to read right now. For the first time since World War II, the United States of America does not have a single aircraft carrier in the water.
Wow, man.
People need to read it.
Are you kidding me?
Facebook.com/RMBTP. Obama has pulled the Eisenhower in and not redeployed the Bush. And at this most perilous time in the history of our planet, maniacs with Stinger missiles, we don't have a single waterborne aircraft launch system anywhere in the world, let alone in the Middle East, as of right now.
You know what, man? That I'm telling you, that is very important news, and I didn't have that info. I have it now. In fact, I'm looking at
Trump
it.
every chance he gets.
I'm looking at it. We do not. I am looking at it. That is absolutely amazing, folks. We don't
Read it
have.
on the air. This man is sabotaging Trump every chance he gets.
But I tell you what, stronger, better, happier days, I do believe, are on the way. Godspeed to you.
Hallelujah.
God bless and keep you, my good buddy. I'll talk to you real soon.
All right, my friend.
Derek Wilburn, folks up there in Denver, Colorado, vice chair of the GOP in Colorado, and shaker and mover extraordinaire. I'm CL. Be right back. CL back with you on this Tuesday evening, and I certainly do appreciate all of you joining us here live in the Arklatex, the jewel cities of the Arklatex. And I want to tell you about a janitorial service that is taking off. It's Cooper's Services. Cooper's Services. And I have my good buddy, Alex, in studio with me. I see him every week. In fact, he and I go to church together. I know this guy. I know him very well. Alex, Cooper Services. Tell us all about it.
Well, CL, first of all, it's a pleasure to be here with you today. Cooper Services was born out of the idea that consumers could enjoy complete building and property maintenance without the hassle of multiple service providers.
Very good.
Now, whenever our consumers or our clients take advantage of all of our services, they get a discounted rate because they compound the services. Our three primary areas of expertise are power washing, lawn maintenance, and janitorial services.
And I see here that the way folks get a hold of you is Cooper Services LA. Is that right?
Yes,
Cooper
sir. That's
Services
the name
LA.
of our Facebook page.
That's the
Cooper
Facebook
Services
page.
LA.
That is fantastic. And now, when did all this take off? When did Cooper's become an entity?
Actually, we've been really blessed, CL. We started about 2 years ago, and at this moment in time, we boast clients such as Willis Knighton, Town Square Media, the CenturyLink Center, Knighton Sanders Plastic Surgery, as well as other clients.
Impressive. And so you have the complete package as far as lawn service and all of that is concerned as well.
Yes, sir. And also, we have a personal touch. We're a family-owned and operated business. And so, unlike some of our competitors, we value our relationships, and we have a personal touch to our business. For example, there was one time one of our clients had a fish tank that overflowed in their building before we came to clean. Well, whenever they called us, they weren't told, okay, we'll have a supervisor call you back, or we're attempting to contact our department manager and we'll get back with you as soon as possible. You know what we said? Here we come. And that's the way we do business with our people. We value our clients, we value our community, and we're always looking to serve our people.
You know what I love about you, man? Your enthusiasm. I mean, hey, I can be having a day one of those days, Michelle, where it says unbelievable. Just unbelievable. Never have a bad day, but sometimes I have unbelievable days. And whenever I run across you, Alex, the one thing that I can always count on is you being up and enthusiastic. Now, you also have opportunities
Yes,
for
sir.
people to work and people to actually earn their own way.
Yes, sir.
By becoming a part of Cooper Services. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, definitely. And one thing I'd like to say is that we don't discriminate based on people's past. We're not worried about your history. We're concerned with what you're doing right now. We have equal opportunities for everybody. Doesn't matter your background, doesn't matter your education, none of that matters. What our primary concern is that you're ready to work, you're going to show up on time, and you're going to give it the best you have.
I love it, man. I love it. And that is Cooper Services LA. Go to that Facebook page and find out how to get in touch with them. You've had that brother-in-law, that cousin, that brother, sister, maybe sitting on your couch, sleeping on your couch here for the last, 90 days. It's time for them to get their own couch. This may be very well the way for them to do this. And they'll get a chance to work with high energy, enthusiastic people like my friend Alex here. That's Cooper Services. That's Cooper Services LA. That is the Facebook page. And again, you do service all of the businesses, all types of businesses.
Yes, sir.
Here in the Arklatex areas. There are regional coverage. What's the coverage?
Well, primarily we do Shreveport, Bossier, and some of the surrounding area. And we're always looking to expand, but we want to make sure that we have the personnel and the qualified people in order to accommodate the expansion. It's not as much about profit and money for us as much as it is providing a quality service. That's our main goal. So if our expansion means that we can't take care of our clients that we already have, then we're not looking to expand. But if we can expand and at the same time take care of the clients that we already have, then by all means, let's expand.
Hey, man, go do it. Go forth and do good is what I'm telling you, because, again, I really love this young man. He's a young man. Future is ahead of him, and I certainly hope that you grow and glow with the company. And I see lovely young people that are all around you here. And Mr. Cooper and the Cooper family, the entire Cooper family, we do wish you well in the endeavor. And, folks, Cooper Services LA. That is the Facebook page. Go there and you will be able to discover how you can go to work. You'll discover a contact number, Cooper Services LA. Alex, brother, thank you so much for being here with me on the C.L. Bryant Show. Well, I want to thank my good friends at Grub Burger. Grub Burger. Go there, tell them that C.L. Bryant sent you. Get you a free homemade, hand-spun milkshake once you order your burger, and tell them CL sent you, and that thing's free. That homemade, homespun milkshake will be yours if you tell them that CL Bryant sent you. Grub Burger over there, my good buddy Andy Hayes. Go see him. As well as our friends at Chevyland. Bubba Winningham, he'll sell you a car. Oh, yes, he will. Go and see Bubba. Milam Cars, along with Tom Milam. Tom's been in business for, my goodness, since I guess somebody was a corporal. And that may have been Patton was a corporal. Tom's been in business a long, long time. And
almost as long as you've been alive, but not quite.
Oh, why do you want to hurt me? But Subway, our friends at Subway, we always enjoy them and our friends always there at Jack Spring Electric when only the best will do. I'm C.L. Bryant. This is the C.L. Bryant Show. We're going to be back. There is a rush for the border right now. Yes, there are people rushing toward the border. Where are they coming from? They're coming from Guatemala. They're coming from Honduras. They're coming from South America, El Salvador. And they are wanting to get in before it's too late. I'll tell you about when it will be too late when I return. I'm CL. Don't go anywhere.
Well, I was rolling down the road in some cold blue steel. I had a blues man.
Yes, I have it on good advice that illegals are storming the border from Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador. They're leaving because they're saying there's too much crime, corruption, and poverty where they're living now. And they do believe that once they make it to America, if they can get here before Obama is out of office, there is a good chance that they can stay. Now, folks, you know that everybody is welcome in America if you come here legally. There's no cats in America. Don't eat the mice. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And the thing that is really troubling me about this is that it proves what we have been saying about this current administration all along. It has been much too passive when it comes to our national security. Now, you may say that he has shipped out 100,000 immigrants or more, maybe much more, many more. But what does it, I'm talking about Obama, if he is, so he shipped out 100, 200,000, 500,000, let's say immigrants. Let's say, or illegal immigrants. Let's say he shipped out 500,000. But if 11 million come to take their place, what have you really done? Are you hearing me? I mean, a token expression of securing the border and shipping out people who are here illegal is exactly that. It's a token expression. It means nothing. If you're going to let 11 million in and ship out 500,000, we've just netted 10 million and 5 illegals. So don't give me that. Don't give me that as far as what he's done for illegal aliens. Jay, can you get this one? Don't give me that as far as what he has done for deporting illegal aliens, because that, my friends, is something that is a joke. That would be a joke. That would be a joke. Now, let me tell you what's not a joke. Netanyahu, and you know where this is coming from. Benjamin Netanyahu, who is our best friend in the Middle East. Benjamin Netanyahu is being besieged with investigations. Okay, our southern borders are being overrun. And we are having people flooding in here from Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador. You know something that, folks, about that? Terrorists are watching where they're coming from, too. Terrorists are understanding. Oh, by the way, 320-5335, 320-5335, 318-320-5335 is the number to call. And we'll be very happy to take your calls here with in the next few minutes. We'll take your calls. Now, Netanyahu, on the other hand, our friend, he doesn't want. He is being besieged with investigations. All of a sudden, some of the charges are receiving gifts. Oh yeah, wow. He's been prime minister for some time now. This never came up except when Obama was trying to get him ousted here during the last election of Netanyahu. They're saying that the deals that he made with a German company that is partly owned by Iran. And folks, I'm telling you, no doubt the Obama administration is behind that. But of course, they say they're not, but I believe they are. The same way that Nancy Pelosi and the rest of them are behind the smear campaign of conservatives in this country. They're behind the smear campaign of conservatives in this country. Now, why shouldn't we let illegal aliens into this country? Because, first of all, we already have enough. That's the first thing. We already have enough. Secondly, and this may seem unrelated, but it's totally related. Chicago has over 4,000 shootings this past year. This past year, Chicago has over 4,000 shootings this past year. Of those 4,000 shootings, you have over 740 folks who have been murdered. Now, most of those shootings and deaths result in black deaths in Chicago. First black president, it's his hometown. Never have seen the murder rate, the shooting rate in Chicago at this clip ever. So much so that Rahm Emanuel, the president's boy, the president's puppet, is in jeopardy of being ousted before his term is up. I'll take your calls when I return. 320-5335, 320-5335 is the number to call. This is the C.L. Bryant Show. Want to thank again our friends at Grub Burger. Andy Hayes, go see my friend Andy Hayes. Tell him CL sent you and receive a free homespun, homemade milkshake when you go. Tell them CL sent you when you get your burger. My friends at Chevyland and Subway, along with SS Truck, Jack Spring Electric, when only the best will do. Call Jack Spring Electric. I'm CL. Don't go anywhere. Back with your phone calls in just a couple of minutes. CL. On a Wednesday in the jewel cities of the Arklatex, Shreveport, and Bossier City, all you folks in southern Arkansas, East Texas, want to welcome you aboard here as well. And our friends up in Wilmington, North Carolina, thank you for being there too. 320-5335, 320-5335. I'm going to take, I believe Mark is there. Mark, thank you for listening. Thank you for calling. What's on your mind, brother?
Good evening, CL. You know, California from Eisenhower through 1988 carried the Republican 9 out of 10 of those years, and since then, the last 7, it's gone solid Democrat, and people admit it's no longer in play. Why? And everybody knows because the Hispanic population has exploded in California, and they're bred to be Democrats. And it's by even Chris Matthews admitted that Democrats are doing it for the votes. I mean, there's no dispute about it. So I would volunteer to be Trump's construction manager in building the wall, but I have an alternate proposal.
What's the alternate?
Build the wall from the Rio Grande, all the way along the Rio Grande in Texas, the Mexico border with New Mexico and Arizona. But then when I hit the Colorado River, turn north, follow Colorado, and then the Utah-Nevada state line, and then the Idaho, Oregon, Washington state line, and seal off the whole west coast, because their objective is to take Texas. Because if they get Texas, then they have a slam dunk for the end of time. So seal off the Rio Grande and Arizona, but then they've already got California. So just seal off California, Oregon, build the wall all the way north from Yuma to the Canadian border.
But you know what, Mark? You said something that is very chilling, and it should be chilling for anybody who's giving some thought to this. And we should give thought to this because there is a South American and Central American invasion of America from Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador. But Texas, now, you mentioned Texas. There was a concerted move to turn Texas blue. And folks, if you don't believe that if Texas goes blue, that conservatives and Republicans can be on the outs as far as the White House is concerned anyway, for a long time, you had better think again. And Mark, that's a very good idea about how that wall can take a dog leg up around there and sort of wall off that western corner.
Try to get to California and then come overland through the desert to Texas and try to, so we're going to shut off the back door.
Mark, let me ask you this, changing the subject just a little bit. I don't know if you're familiar with this situation in South Carolina with Dylan Roof. They delayed one day him representing himself, or the sentencing phase or of him representing himself. And I know what you do for a living, and in your profession, you have always said that a person who has himself for a client has a fool for a client. Is this kid sane? I mean, they declared him sane, but this kid doesn't seem to be hitting on all cylinders to me.
Well, there's a basic presumption anybody would do such a heinous thing has got to be insane. But the definition of insanity is clinical, and so the law can't necessarily put that on him. But I think what the court's doing here is to be extremely careful. Whenever someone goes into court representing themselves, the courts bend over backwards to allow them every latitude in order to make sure that they're given a fair trial, because you don't want, especially in a criminal content, them to be able to say, well, I had ineffective counsel. Well, if you chose to represent yourself, of course you had ineffective counsel. So what they're doing is they're going to give him more time to do things, maybe even to find counsel or change his mind, and then it's all on the record. So then if he files some crazy jailhouse appeal while he's sitting on death row, which he will be, it will be no basis whatsoever in the record for him to get another hearing and delay his execution decades, as often happens, which would just more inflame the situation. So I think it's a good thing. They need to be prudent, make sure he gets a fair trial, and then put him on death row, and so you have no reason for delay.
Very good. Mark, thank you, as always, for your call and your loyal listenership. Thank you so much for calling in, brother.
All right.
I'm CL. This is the CL Bryant Show. And, folks, I have to tell you, yes, I do believe that there are some things going down in our nation, some things that are happening in our nation right now that we do need to pay attention to. 320-5335, 320-5335. Who do we have in the show? Tom's on the line. Tom, thank you for listening. Thank you for calling. What's on your mind, friend?
Hey, all I wanted to do is wish you a happy New Year, CL. I know you've been out, and I know you're getting ready for the big convention thing or
Yeah.
the inauguration.
Yeah.
And I didn't get a chance to wish you a happy New Year. But
Tom,
congratulations on all that you do, CL Bryant.
God bless and God keep you, my good friend. And Happy New Year to you and your lovely bride. And hey, listen, we'll talk real soon. Got to talk to you real soon.
Works for me. God bless. And by the way, anytime you want to stop by my show, you're welcome to do that.
Tom Pace.
All
Tom
right.
Pace. Listen, I knew you'd get that plug in. Tom, tell them all about it. Tell them all about it, Tom. I'm going to get you have the floor.
Talk of the Town with Tom Pace. It's on every day, Monday through Friday, 5 to 6. Promise 90.7.
Wait a minute. You left out one thing, though, Tom. The legendary Tom Pace.
No, I'm no more of a legend than a goat can fly. Okay? You want to talk about a legend? I got my picture made with Bob Griffin over the at the
Now that's the
Independence
truth.
Bowl. Now
That's the truth. That's the truth right there.
God bless you.
Bob and his buddy. God bless and keep you.
Yes,
Tom Pace.
thank you.
I'm CL. This is the CL Bryant Show, and we're going to be back with more here in just a minute. And a happy New Year to each and every one of you. Earlier in the show, in case you missed it, I had my entire crew in here, Michelle, Rick, Jay, and myself. That's my crew. We've had, and of course, our friends here at Town Square as the crew as well. But we wanted to wish everybody a very happy New Year. Be safe, be prosperous, and let's all believe that our nation can be great again. When I return, I want to talk more about those 4,000 murders, or 4,000 shootings in Chicago and the 700 murders in Chicago, and how you need to make certain that stay away from your doorstep. And I want to talk in this frame, law and order. I want to tell you for perhaps the umpteenth time that law and order is not a buzzword for something else other than law and order. It may have been at one time, not now. I'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
concerned about my happiness.
CL, I hope you are. Be concerned about the happiness of this nation because we are, in fact, in a mode where we need to be concerned about our future happiness. Now, joining me, and she's somewhat a regular on the show, she was an elector. Yes, in the Electoral College. She was an elector. She cast an electoral vote. Dina DeCamp, she is a part of the largest GOP women's organization in the nation, state president of the National Federation of Republican Women, Florida. Dina DeCamp, welcome back to the CL Bryant Show.
Thank you for having me. It's good to be back.
Dina, it's always good to have you on. Now, before we get into all this, we've gotten the president elected. The votes have been cast. He has the electoral votes to be legitimately the president of the United States. Tell us all, were you and others really, truly approached by Dems and those to actually switch your votes? And was that really creepy to have people like that doing that type of thing?
You know, that's funny. That's the word I used to some woman on Twitter that was hounding me and stalking me. I finally asked her if she was a stalker and that what she was doing was incredibly creepy. And so therefore she put all my information out there so her Twitterverse could attack me. And so daily I got Twitter attacks, Facebook attacks. The mail started about 3 weeks out from the vote, and it just built until the 4 days before we went to the Electoral College. My mail lady knocked on the door with a big tray of mail, and after that, those trays kept getting bigger and bigger. I was getting thousands of pieces of mail every day. One of the Democrats from somewhere in the United States sent every elector. They went to Amazon.com. They got a book, the Federalist Papers. Mm-hmm. They sent every one of us a free book of the Federalist Papers.
Amazing.
And as if I hadn't read it already.
Let me.
But the best part about this is the people who ignore the Constitution were lecturing the electors on what the Constitution
by sending you the Federalist Papers. Yes. Let me ask you about the mood in the country. There seems to be a mood of optimism. A lot of people had thought that this Congress and this president would bring on a mood of anxiety. In fact, I was told by a Canadian radio host, a friend of mine, Roy Green, he was saying, CL, I see something in Americans that I hadn't seen before ever, and he says anxiety. Now, this was before Trump won the presidency. Now, that same person is saying, CL, I'm seeing a mood of optimism in America. How are you seeing it, Dina?
It is. I have to say the anxiety that's out there is from the Democrats and the liberals who absolutely refuse to be patient and wait to see what's going to happen. I mean, the Republicans did that with Obama. We patiently waited for him to do the greatness that they promised us. It didn't happen, but we did wait for it for a little while. They're not even going to give him a chance, which is going to make it even better when he excels the way we all feel like he will. The people around me, businesses, my business, everybody's businesses are already pumping up. We're doing more business than we have in 8 years.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. Everybody's got big smiles on their face, and every time he tweets something or every time you see something on the news where he's scolding someone about, everybody just starts grinning because this is what we've been waiting for.
This is what we've been waiting for.
This is the man that checked all the boxes on the Tea Party application, that he was going to, drain the swamp, that he was going to be honest with us, that he was going to not do things the way he always, all the other politicians. He checked all the boxes for us.
Yeah, he did. And Dina, let me ask you this though about now the only rift that I'm seeing that we still may have, and I don't really know if this is a rift or not, but it's over Obamacare. There are some of us who are in the grassroots movement who really want the total repeal and total replacement of Obamacare. However, we do see some in our party, and we're not going to explode over this. I can see it now that we're not going to explode over this. But some are saying, let's keep the good things and let's throw out the bad things and let's make it right. How should Trump proceed on this? Pragmatically, how should he do that?
I think that when they say let's keep the good things, what they're saying is there were a couple of things that were put into Obamacare to appease the Republicans way back when they did that. And because the pre-existing condition, it wasn't fair to anybody. I mean, most people have a pre-existing condition of something. Insurance, health insurance is off the track. That's a whole nother discussion you and I can have, because my husband's in the medical field and I can tell you a few things. But what they're saying is the parts that the Republicans liked, they want to keep those parts. And then the stuff like the mandate and the things that just didn't make any sense at all and were throwing the costs way up there, those things can go. But there were a couple of things that the Democrats put in there to appease the Republicans at the time. And there's some of those are keepable because they make sense. And they're only going to keep things that are going to make sense.
When I return, I'm on with Republican woman extraordinaire from Florida, and I am going to be talking more with Dina DeCamp here in just a moment. And Dina, I want to ask you when I return about the attitude that big business like GM and Ford, they're positioning themselves away from Mexico back into the country. I want to see just how that plays into the new optimistic mood that business is having about the Trump presidency. I'm CL. We'll be back with Dina DeCamp in just a couple of minutes. Dina DeCamp Florida State President of National Federation of Republican Women, the largest GOP women's organization in the nation, is on with me now. And Dina, I wanted to get your take on how the Trump doctrine toward business that manufacture outside of the United States. I want to get your opinion on how we should deal with them. And is Trump's approach the right approach? I think it is. What do you say?
I agree. I think that deregulating all of those onerous regulations that have been installed by so many of the Democrat lawmakers, that it kind of stops manufacturing here. They're going out of the country in order to get better tax rates. They're going out of the country because there's less regulations. With President-elect Trump already saying that he's going to start decreasing the taxes, he's going to start decreasing some of those regulations that are preventing these guys from doing business.
Yeah.
It makes them want to stay here because, they're all Americans. They want to put Americans to work, but they also are businessmen and they need to make a living.
So
you have to be able to do both.
And to sort of shift up the gears now, how do you think the relationship then with Israel will be after Obama? Do you think that Trump will have a better Middle Eastern policy than Obama?
I think he already has a better Eastern European or European.
Middle East.
The whole, I think the whole foreign policy for the United States is going to be 100% better than where we're at right now. Apparently, Obama did not impress a lot of people, is what I'm gathering.
You're right about. Oh, you're so right about that. And then finally, when we look at the invasion from Central America, Honduras, El Salvador, and Guatemala, when we look at the invasion coming across our borders, is it true, and this is one thing that many of us are saying as Republicans, is it true that they're trying to get here before Obama is out of office? And if they make it here, what should we do about the illegal? These are topics that we've discussed here tonight that are going to be hot in the first 150 days of the Trump presidency. What should we do? We are a country with laws. We should enforce the rule of laws, in my estimation. But some are saying that, maybe we should take some different approach. Dina, what do you say?
Well, again, you're right. We are a country of laws, and although I think it's terrible that they're sending children up here by themselves, I have no problem with us putting those children into holding areas like they did on Ellis Island, but sending them back home, because we have you can't just come into the country because mom sent you up here to hold a spot for her to come later, because that's what they're thinking they're doing. They're sending the children now, and then what the U.S. is doing now is sending for the parents to come get the kids, and then they all get to stay. Yeah. I think if we can drop that wall into place with a helicopter and just slam that door shut, that'd be the better thing for us. I don't mean to be rude about it, but the American people suffer every time we let thousands of these immigrants come in that are not intending to assimilate into our society, are taking jobs away from people that are already struggling to make a living. This is not helping the American people. This is not. I think the best news I got today was that Donald Trump was requesting information from the Obama people about what they have done about the wall, where they are on the finances, and what kind of things are in place where they can start working on that wall. That when I heard that today on the news, I was just jubilant, because
I tell you
it means that he's actually going to build that wall.
The old GOP song "Happy Days Are Here Again" may very well be brought out of mothballs. And how do we get a hold of your thoughts? How do people who are my listeners there in Florida, how do they get in touch with you and your organization? Give us the website.
www.f as in Florida, F as in Federation, FFRW Republican Women, the Florida Federation of Republican Women.net.
And we're
So
on,
www.ffrw.net.
and folks, go there, and if you're in Florida, be sure to become a part of that with our friend Dina DeCamp, Florida State President of the National Federation of Republican Women, the largest GOP women's organization in the nation. Dina, it is always great to have you on, always give us good insight, and thank you so much for being here today. God bless and keep you. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, CL. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yeah, folks, we are going to be back here in just a little bit with more. Well, we're in the home stretch. My, how those 2 hours have gone by really, really quickly. I'm going to have to stretch to 3, I imagine. That's what's going to have to happen. That's going to happen. We have to do a 3-hour show. I don't really want to do a 3-hour show, Michelle, but it looks like that's what we're going to have to do. Bring it up. Well,
You didn't ask Dina
no,
to talk about Megan.
No, I'm not going to ask about Megan.
But let's talk about
because
Megyn Kelly.
You're a Megan hater.
I'm not a Megan hater. You said that about Hillary.
You and Hillary. You hate her too.
I don't hate anyone.
You shouldn't be such a hater.
Oh my gosh. So let's talk. Megyn Kelly's going to NBC.
Making buku money, although it's not on paper, but she's going to make
it doesn't look like there's money involved.
There's not money involved? Are you kidding me?
No, it says in the Reuters article that the money hasn't been disclosed, but they can't afford. But they gave her other things. She gets to wear a peacock costume. NBC. She gets to wear a peacock costume for Halloween.
Oh, she like that. But see, that again proves that is hate speech against.
It's just the facts,
against
CL.
Megyn Kelly. I'm CL. Back to close it out in just a minute. Yeah, change those gears, and the gears are always changing. One of the most certain things about life is that it will change. Change occurs, and a great change has occurred in this country. You can feel it. You can feel it in the air. Tonight, my friend, there's no question about it. Now, listen, let me tell you what's coming down the pipe. I'm going to talk more about this tomorrow because I have officially run out of time here today. We're going to talk about people who are having their way with identity specifics, like gender. Yeah, they're having their way with identity specifics, like gender. Reality is much different than the way you may feel about something. You may feel like you're Oprah Winfrey today, or I may feel like I'm Denzel tomorrow, but that doesn't really jive with the reality of it. And all of you, I guess you know by now how I feel about this identity gender stuff as far as that's concerned. You can feel like anything you want to feel like. That does not make it a reality, because the truth is there is Oprah and there is Denzel, and then there's you and me. There is Brad Pitt and there is Meryl Streep, and then there's you and me. You know, they're them, we're us. And I'm not saying one's better than the other one. I'm just saying that the reality is they're who they are, we're who we are. Doesn't matter how you feel about it. This gender specific thing that is actually budding on our college campuses is going to present chaos. I've often said over the course of this show, this 3 years I've been doing this show, that the next civil war in this country will spring from two things: the homosexual agenda, the gay marriage thing, and abortion. And this president is going into he's winning on so many different fronts right now. But believe me, there are forces right now that are wanting to take him in and on as far as those two topics are concerned. Well, stay tuned. We'll talk about it tomorrow. I'm CL, and I want to thank God for bringing us to the close of yet another day, and I want to thank him for our men and women in uniform around the globe who defend our right to speak our mind. And until I'm able to talk to you again, may God bless and keep you all.
To keep freedom alive, and to the families left behind, we'll stand by your side, and the bond